Let's talk about LinkedIn. So the main thing I want to emphasize today is that there's three goals that I want to achieve today in an hour, hopefully in 45 minutes so that I can take some questions. The first one is building, your profile. I think everything with LinkedIn starts with the profile that you're showing to the world. And I'll tell you why, because your profile is a landing page and it needs to be treated as such. And a lot of us miss opportunities. And so when people search us on Google, it doesn't really show the LinkedIn profile that we want to put out there. The second thing I want to solve today is help you create content that gets engagement on LinkedIn. And then finally, I want to introduce you to three tools that you can leverage to grow your business on LinkedIn. So let's see here. All right. So a little bit about me. Um, I have, I'm an EO member. I've been in EO since 2014, and I have served in a lot of leadership positions in my local chapter here in Baltimore. Um, as you can see, I actually helped launch the accelerator program here, so it's one of my favorite things in EO, and I ran it for 2 years, and then I was president for 2 years, and then now I'm serving as area director with the U.S. East, which is why I'm here in Southeast Virginia for a strategy summit later today. So my business is personal branding. We help entrepreneurs and executives build standout personal brands that they can leverage to grow their business. And the question I get all the time is, why personal branding? Well, because people buy from people, and increasingly we're losing trust in business brands and in our own interactions online we are consuming content from people. We don't wake up in the morning excited to consume some content from a brand, but we have favorite creators that we go to. We have favorite experts and experts and authorities in our niches that we consume content from. So personal branding is the window to that. And my goal is to help my clients build standout personal brands that show them as the authority, as the expert in their niche, and then they can leverage that with the power of AI, which is something that I am really, really dialed into because AI can help you save time and amplify your visibility when it comes to personal brands. So my goal is to show you the tools that will help you do that. And obviously, personal branding, once you build your influence and authority, you can leverage it to do a whole bunch of things to build, scale your business, pursue a speaking career, a breakout book, a coaching or consulting gig if that's what you want to do next, and pursue a passion project. But today we're here to talk about the first one, which is how to scale your business with personal branding on LinkedIn. So then the question is, why LinkedIn? Well, it's as simple as LinkedIn is where the opportunity is right now. And there's a lot of social media platforms that are saturated and have become a pay for play platforms. But LinkedIn is still a blue ocean opportunity because you know, until recently, people knew LinkedIn as a place you go to find a job or get a job. Well, LinkedIn is a content platform and they've dialed in, and I'll share a little bit about video content in a second. So, from organic content perspective, if you are active on LinkedIn, you're gonna get engagement. And I believe that when it comes to organic content, LinkedIn probably has the best organic reach right now, probably outside of TikTok because it allows you to be able to build credibility and authority very quickly by just posting organic content, something you would not be able to do on Instagram or on Facebook. And then number two is that your potential clients are on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has the highest in terms of income of any social platform. So the average income of LinkedIn dwarfs all the others. And number three, you can build your authority and leverage it for the future. So if you want to future proof yourself, building an authority on LinkedIn is the sure way to do that. But at the top of it is that LinkedIn sits at the top of your digital reputation. And I am going to have us do an activity where I want each of you to Google yourself. I want you to take out your phone or you can go to a tab on your computer and Google yourself, and I want you to Google your name and your company name. It's best if you do it in a fresh browser or an incognito. I want you to see, what do people see when they Google your name and your company name together. So in my case, it will be Kwame Kwade. My company is Pioneer Branding. And so it will be Kwame Kwade, Pioneer Branding. Let's see what people see. And why is that important? Because when you are talking to people about your business, you go to a networking event, you go to an EO event, you talk to people about your business. When they leave, if they don't know you, they're going to do one thing. They're going to Google you. And when they Google you, what they find is a window into your personal brand and your reputation. So I went ahead and did that for a few people in your chapter because, as I said, I know quite a few people in your chapter. So I picked a few of them and just Google them. So I did that for Vinit, and obviously LinkedIn. If everybody did this, LinkedIn is probably the first, the top three. It's usually the first one or the second one, but at least in the top three of your profile. So I did that for Vinit. And then Tina Hamilton, who I see is on right now. Um, I did the same thing for her. LinkedIn is number two. And Eric Griffin, LinkedIn is number one. I did it for Ami. LinkedIn is number two. For Marcia, LinkedIn is number two. And then Renee, LinkedIn is also number two. So why is this important? And for myself, LinkedIn is number one because if somebody wants to confirm or validate your authority or your expertise, or just confirm what you told them at that networking event, or they want to learn about you, or they want to follow you, they're going to go on Google, and LinkedIn's domain authority is so high that LinkedIn is what's going to pop up. And if they want to validate your authority or expertise, they're going to click on LinkedIn. Even if your website comes up, they want to check you out on LinkedIn because they want to know, okay, let's see how you're showing up online. Let's see if you are the expert that you say you are. And let's see if the world sees you as that expert. And LinkedIn is the place that they can validate all those things. And so we usually think that people are going to click on our website, but our website is going to tell them what we already told them. LinkedIn is where they can check out how the world sees you. And so how you're showing up there, it's so critical in validating your expertise and your knowledge. And so they're going to click on your LinkedIn profile to connect with you, number one, because if they want to keep up with you or connect with you, they're going to click on your LinkedIn profile. They're going to click on it to confirm your expertise. And then if they want to follow you and see what's happening with you, LinkedIn is the place to do it to keep up with you. And so what Google is going to share with them is so important. And typically, this is what Google, when they click on your name on Google, this is what Google is going to show them. And if they X out of that pop-up, then they're going to see your banner. So the first thing I want to talk about is this. So the missed opportunity here for some of us is that when people click on our banner on LinkedIn, nothing shows up, or what shows up does not really reinforce the story we want to tell. And so it's so important that when we should go back and look at our banner, is it communicating? Because the banner should be able to stand up on its own, because that's what Google is serving. If the person hasn't logged into LinkedIn, they are not going to see all the other things that you're posting. So this is the first impression you're making on Google regarding LinkedIn, and your banner should be able to tell them or reinforce whatever you told them at that networking event, or whatever somebody has told them about you and how you can help them. Your banner on LinkedIn should be able to reinforce that. So that is so critical to make sure you go back and take a look at that. So today, what I want to do is I want to walk you through how to craft a winning LinkedIn profile, a winning LinkedIn landing page. And there are about 8 different components of a successful LinkedIn profile. I'm going to focus on the 3 that I've highlighted: the banner, the headline, and the features section. And my goal is to give you tools on how you can go back and optimize these areas and improve that. So the first thing I want to talk about is the LinkedIn banner. So what is the banner? Well, it is the what is highlighted at the top, the image at the top of your LinkedIn profile. And the banner is supposed to be a brief statement that really tells the person what you do. So you can also include a specific call to action if you want them to take an action. You can tell them to sign up for your newsletter. You can tell them to, sign up for a strategy call, but it's an opportunity to give them a call to action. And this is the part that I want to emphasize, that your LinkedIn banner should be able to stand on its own. So if it's not, if somebody cannot look at your banner and get a good sense of what you do, then you're missing an opportunity, because Google is going to serve them your banner first if they haven't logged in. And so your banner should be able to stand on its own and give them enough curiosity that they want to go and log into LinkedIn and connect with you and learn more about you. So let's see here. So here's my banner. you know, I am into personal branding, and this is what I help people do. And so I want to make sure that when they look at my banner, they have an idea of what I do and how I can help them. And I have a call to action on what I want them to do. And I want to share with you some other banners that I think are winning banners. This is one that we did for a client. April is actually the president of EO Detroit. And she's shifting her brand to building community. And so we help her rebrand herself on LinkedIn. And we want to make sure that when you look at her banner, you understand what she does, how she helps, and what she can do for you. Here's another client. And his VAs for construction. He places VAs in construction industries. And so we want to make sure that when you look at the banner, you understand exactly what he does and how he can help you. And then, Betsy will tell you, Katie and Betsy, we did the chapter staff leadership academy, and I help a lot of the chapter staff, redo their banners. And here's one from Heidi EO Albany, and you can see it's telling you exactly what she does, and it's about her role as a chapter staff for EO, and how her how you can be part of this community. But the banner should be able to stand on its own and tell you that. And here's another one. Um, the person helps you land clients on LinkedIn, and so it's very clear what she does. And then here's Wendy. Wendy's an EO member. She has a translation business, and as you can see, it's clear to the point. Your words, any language, so you understand it. So if you met her at an event, or somebody told you about her, you know exactly what she does when you see her banner. If you have a product, it's the same thing. We should be able to see that in your banner. Yes, an interesting one with words. It's a little play on words, but your target client, my LinkedIn strategy, new revenue for your business. It's so clear. And then this guy was one of the speakers at Nerve, and he's an author. So I think from an author perspective, this works. His main signature phrase is one more thing, one more time. And so it's in his banner. It's very clear. I thought that was very effective. This is another product person, and so forth. Now, if you can also highlight big events, if you have something that's happening that you want to highlight, you can put it in your banner. If you're doing something that you want people to pay attention to, if you're a restaurant, you can just let us see the restaurant, because there's so many things that you can do with the banner, but you should be able to tell people who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Now, the next place I want to go is your LinkedIn headline, which is the phrase that sits underneath your banner. And here there are 3 tips I want to offer you. The first one is that it has to highlight your expertise and the value proposition. And there's a keyword limit. And so you have to make sure that you're fitting into that. And most importantly, you also want it to be searchable. So when somebody's searching key phrases on LinkedIn, you want to pop up. So for me, I want to make sure that it's talking about AI for personal branding, content marketing. All those keywords have to be in your profile banner. So here's mine. As I mentioned before, There are a couple of things that I do, but at the core of it is helping leaders build magnetic personal brands. I use AI a lot to leverage that. And so that is also in my headline. And the banner and the headline should reinforce each other. So when somebody looks at your banner and then they read your headline, it should reinforce it. And then you have credibility building things that you can add, whatever that is for your industry, to show people that you are the authority, you are the expert, and that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing. So here are a couple of banners that I picked. We already saw sorry, a couple of headlines. We already saw her banner. Here's another guy helping 7 to 9 figure B2B brands attract clients and stand out with storytelling. So his whole thing is about storytelling. And so that is what he does and helps you build your brand. We saw this guy already. I help founders sign clients through LinkedIn. It's as simple as that. That is the value proposition. This guy helped business owners exit their business, and so helping founders scale, prepare, and exit. So you see the banner, you see the headline, they connect with each other. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the feature section. I think this is one of the places that a lot of people miss or do not maximize. And if you don't know what the feature section is, it's one of those sections that you have to actually activate on your LinkedIn platform. Um, and it's a way to showcase your, something great that is happening in your business, or if you have a podcast, or if you have a content that really worked well, that is the place to really highlight it. And you need to choose some thumbnails that really highlight, because people are going to be viewing this on the phone, and you want to make sure that people can see it. So this is what the feature section look like. Mine, I have chosen to, promote my newsletter. I have chosen to um, use it as a one of my lead gen strategies is to book a call with me, and then also to show highlight one of the posts that I did that was very successful. But there are many ways to leverage your feature section. If you are, if you have a quiz, or if you have a something that you want people to take, you can put it in the feature section. If you have a book that you've written, it's a good place to highlight that. You can also highlight other things. If you have an article that worked very well or a LinkedIn post, you can highlight that in your feature section, because the feature section is supposed to reinforce your authority. It's supposed to highlight things that you want people to pay attention to. And all of that is, as I mentioned, it's a landing page. So when people are scrolling all the way down, you're trying to tell a story, and the features section is to highlight the big things that are happening or things that you want people to pay attention to. If you have a community that you're building, you can put it there. If you have a podcast, you can put in your feature section. This is what we did with April. She's highlighting, her newsletter, an article that she posted on LinkedIn that worked very well. And then she's featured in the Michigan Chronicle. So she's highlighting that. This is another person that I think is using the feature section very well in terms of highlighting his work, and then an important article that he wrote in Entrepreneur. So that is the profile section. I know there's a lot more, but I wanted to cover these three that I thought were standout and missed opportunities. And so moving on, I want to talk about content. This is one of the
Hey,
areas I think a lot of people.
Kwame.
Go ahead.
Sorry, but before you move on, with each of those things, I mean, they seem critical. Are they more of set them and forget them, or how often you want to be changing them and updating them? Because I mean, it seems like maybe the banner and the headline might be more static, but featured. Do you want to constantly update that, or is there some kind of strategy to all three, or just the one?
Right. I update my headline quite a bit. Um, and just A/B testing things and seeing what is resonating with people. And so I think that the banner, I rarely touch the banner. I think the headline, sometimes I will play around with, setting keywords to see if I'm getting more searches or being found in more searches. But the core of it remains the same. The feature section, as you mentioned, is a place that I play around a lot, because I think that if I do a particular, post and it does well, I'll put it there. Um, if there's something new that I'm participating in, I'll put it there. So I think the feature section should be dynamic, and it should always be refreshed based on what is you want to highlight at any given section.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's talk about content. So this is one of the areas that I think people struggle with. People don't know what to talk about when it comes to personal branding. They run out of content. And so I'm going to give you some higher level tips on what you can do to really get ahead of the content game in 2025. And the first thing is that your content should be addressing the pain points of your audience. And there's an exercise that I like to do with my clients, which is, an ICP profile. What is your ideal customer profile? What are their pain points? What are their frustrations? What keeps them up at night? You need to write all that down. Um, that last phrase should be desired state. It says desired state. And then you want to be seen as an expert and authority. So you have to then, through their pain points, highlight how you can solve their problem. And then you have to show up and tell them consistently. Repetition is good when it comes to content, as long as it's varied. And then the reward of all that is that you're staying top of mind. So the problem is that a lot of us think it takes too long to create content, or we don't know what to do to create attention-grabbing content. And then part of it is also imposter syndrome, which is a whole different topic we're not going to talk about today. But the biggest thing is that we think it takes too long to create attention-grabbing content. So here's what I want to do. So one tip I want to give you, or a couple of ideas to never run out of content. I want to help you, give you 3 tools that will help you to always have a content reservoir that you can go to. And the first one is AI. Depending on what your favorite AI model is, there is content you can get out of it. And so what I want to do is ask you to answer 2 questions, and then I'm going to give you an AI prompt that is going to help you generate about 30 days worth of content just with the prompt. So the first thing I want you to answer is, in your business, pick one segment. Who do you help and how do you help them? So those are the 2 questions that I want you to answer, and that is going to be important for the prompt that I'm about to give you. And so once you answer this question, then I want you to fill in this prompt. So you're going to go into your favorite AI model, whatever that is, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. I like to use Claude. And then you're going to say, act as a LinkedIn expert, or, a LinkedIn social media marketing expert. Tell me 10 frustrations, desires, and 10 fears that, in my case, is going to be entrepreneurs and executives experience with, you know, building their personal brand, and then put this in a table format with appropriate labels. So you put this prompt in your AI module, and so for me, this is how I'll fill it out. So entrepreneurs are my audience, and then helping them build standout personal brands. That's how I help them. And so I would take this prompt, and then I put it into Claude, and then this is what I got. So it's going to give me frustrations, desires, and fears. And these are pretty spot on, because the people that I work with, what are their frustrations? Well, time consuming, the time it takes to create content. What is the ROI on personal branding? Writer's block for posts, and clear content strategies. What are their desires? They want to stand out in a crowded market. They want to position themselves as a thought leader. They want to monetize their expertise. And then some of the fears they have, I copied all of this and put it in a much more user-friendly manner. And so this is the frustrations they have. These are their desires. They want to build brands at scale. They want to develop their authentic voice. And then these are their fears, being seen as inauthentic or salesy, being judged by peers or family. This is a huge one, imposter syndrome, where people don't want to go out there because they don't think they have anything to say, or they don't think, their experience is relevant enough, and all these things. So I would take this, and then I will start developing content addressing each of them. If you've watched my content on LinkedIn, this is how I operate. I take all these fears, aspirations, desires, and then I create content around it. And so it doesn't stop there. You can ask AI to help you flush out these ideas. So, in this case, for example, I said, regarding the fears you've outlined, Can you provide details on which key points I need to emphasize when creating content if I want to grab attention of my audience and provide the most value? And then it's gonna, give you a few ideas and thoughts. And because you are the expert and you are the authority, these are all familiar to you, but they give you a starting point to be able to craft content if you are having a block. And as I said, you have to, I go with AI as an assistant. It's the very, the intern that you have that can help you. So it's a starting point. It doesn't replace your expertise. It doesn't replace your authority and experience, but it's a great starting point to get content ideas. The next idea, the next solution I want to give you is a tool called Answer the Public. And this is a paid tool. I think it's about maybe $9 or maybe $5. I forgot. I just paid for the lifetime subscription, which I think was like 100 and something dollars. And so I have access to this. And what I like about Answer the Public is that you can go in and find out what your audience are searching for. What are the questions your audience are asking on these platforms? So what are they searching on Google? What are they searching on Bing? What are they searching on YouTube? What are they searching on Instagram? And it gives you content ideas. So if you're struggling to come up with content ideas, Answer the Public is a great place to go, and it will give you answers in list form. It will give you answers in, how they're asking the questions. It's a really, really great place to go and get content ideas. And then the third place I would go is your clients and your prospects. When you are on client calls, what are the questions they're asking you? And here's a hack I'm going to give you. So I use Claude as my favorite AI model, and I think ChatGPT also has this. And Claude has a voice note, a voice function. So what I would typically do is that, let's say that you are on a call and then a client asks you a question, or a prospect asks you a question. You write that down, or you can record it in your favorite AI notes or whatever. But what I do is that I'll take that question, and since it's fresh on my mind, I will open my Claude app and then I will record my answer to the question. So I'll ask the question, I'll record it, and then I will let the transcript sit there. All I want to do is just record that. So somebody again on the call, somebody say, hey, how can I go live on LinkedIn? And then I will answer the question in a voice note, and then I will let the transcript sit there. Then later, I will go to Claude and then I will give it a prompt and say, hey, can you turn this answer into a LinkedIn post? And then it will spit it out, and then that's the post. So my point is that, yeah, there's a lot of questions that your prospects are already asking you, your clients are asking you. They are great ideas for content. You should consume content from experts. Who are the experts in your niche that are creating amazing content? They are a good place to get content. And also, when you go to the comment section of their posts, if somebody's an authority in your niche, they're getting a gazillion questions and they probably don't have time to answer them. Go and answer those questions. Or better still, take those questions and create content. Because if somebody's asking those authority and experts in your niche these questions, a lot of people are also curious about the same thing. So if you can answer them for your audience, it's a great place. Events that you attend, like today, what did you learn from today? You can go in and create post about it. So take out your ChatGPT, take out Claude, do a voice note about a couple of things that you got out of today's event, and then prompt it to turn into a LinkedIn post. News related to your industry, it's also a source of content. And then finally, personal reflections. What are the things you're learning? What are the things that are hitting you differently? What are your thoughts about things that are happening in your industry? What are the things that are happening in your life that you think your audience will find relevant? You should be sharing that. Those are all sources of content. So I hope this gives you a starting point to trigger some content ideas for you, because this is one of the things that I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. So now let's go to video. Guys, if I didn't leave you with anything at all, video content is the biggest thing right now. If you're not creating video, you are going to be left behind. Why? Because one, video is where the eyeballs are. 90% of internet traffic is video content. And our own consumption demonstrates that. When we're on break, when we have watching TV and the commercials come on, we put our phone on and we're watching something on TikTok or watching something on Instagram, video is where the eyeballs are. So if you are not creating video, you are missing out. And I have the data to prove it. 95% of viewers retain video content compared to 10% of text. That is data. You can Google it. It's out there. This is huge. When people watch video, they remember. When you give them text, they only retain 10% of it. And there's more. You know, the average video consumption is just crazy and growing. 96% of people watch an explainer video to learn more about a product or service. Video makes you relatable and personable. It's the fastest way to build trust and authority. And 86% of US viewers frequently use YouTube to learn new things. So the data is there. So now platforms have seen that. All the platforms have seen that, and they're now all optimizing for video. LinkedIn, Twitter have doubled down on video. YouTube, Instagram have tripled down on video. So let me tell you, YouTube Shorts, which used to be a minute, to my frustration, because I can never say anything in a minute. I need more time. So that I didn't really used to do YouTube Shorts because it was just too short. And now they've increased it to 3 minutes. And so I'm excited because now I can go and create shorts and say what I want to say and not feel like I'm restricted to a minute. So YouTube, and this just happened like a few months ago. And LinkedIn has doubled down on video. LinkedIn is prioritizing video content like never before. And if you look on your LinkedIn app on your phone, there is a video button that didn't used to be there. And now it's there because now you can scroll and binge watch videos on LinkedIn. And so everybody is doubling down on video. And I've gotten some very impressive content impressions on video. And probably every 10 videos that I post, 2 or 3 of them will go what we call viral. I mean, you'll get like amazing, crazy impressions. So do not sleep. And these are videos that I record when I'm going on my daily walks. So they're not like any polished, super polished, edited. It's just me going on my morning walks and just talking and recording. I don't even edit it. I just record and I'm done and I post it. And it's been very, very effective. So I want to talk about stacking visibility. So when you look at your activity section on LinkedIn, video, if you're doing video, it gives them the video button then shows up and highlights that, hey, this is something that people can watch. So I'm going to talk about stacking in a second. YouTube, when I record videos, I post them on YouTube because, I mean, why not? If I'm already recording it, why not put it on YouTube? And then, um, well, let me say one more thing about this. I think that video is the future. It's here. It's not, it's like here. And one of the ways to leverage that is that if you are creating video and you're putting in multiple places, I'm going to show you a strategy where if you create long form content and you put it on YouTube, you're getting more visibility. And then you're taking that long form, repurposing it to short form content and posting it on LinkedIn. That is a great strategy to be able to, be in 2 places at the same time, but serving different audiences with long form content and short form content. So finally, I want to talk about hidden gems. I want to talk about tools that are on LinkedIn that a lot of you are probably using, that you should be using, that can help you grow your business. So the first one is LinkedIn newsletter. I don't know how many of you have a LinkedIn newsletter, but this is a huge opportunity. Why? Because 98% of the top LinkedIn newsletters are not by companies, they're actually by individuals. So it emphasizes the point that I've been trying to make. People want to connect with people. People buy from people they like, they trust, they have a connection with. So if you launch your LinkedIn newsletter, you're more likely to get visibility because people want to connect with people. Number two, if you launch your newsletter today, let's say you have however many followers on LinkedIn, I guarantee you 10% of your followers will subscribe to your newsletter within 24 or 48 hours. Guaranteed. So if you have 3,000 followers, 300 people will jump on right now within 48 hours and subscribe to your newsletter. It means that you have 300 people you can talk to right now. So it's a no-brainer. And why is that important? Because they will get an email whenever you publish your newsletter. They will get an email in their LinkedIn, the email that they use to sign up for LinkedIn. They will get an email there. And then they'll get a notification in their LinkedIn inbox, like on the app. And so they're gonna get two places ping that, hey, Kwame has published a newsletter, go read it. So if you have 3,000 people, 2,000 people, and 10% of them, up to 20% actually in the first 48 hours, if 300 people sign up, that is 300 people you can start talking to right now. And LinkedIn open rates for the newsletters is amazing. So trust me on this one. LinkedIn newsletter is where it's at. So you can reach them directly without any buffer because remember, when you post on LinkedIn, when you post content, the algorithm decides whether your content is going to get a wide distribution or not based on the initial reaction of people who are interacting with the content. But when you post a newsletter, there's no barrier between you and your audience. Everybody is going to get an email that you publish your newsletter. So, in my opinion, this one you should be doing because it is putting you directly with people who want to hear from you without the algorithm standing between you and your followers. And when you publish a newsletter, the content is SEO friendly, so they pop up in Google as articles. So if you have an expert and you have topical expertise, you can use your newsletter to do that. And then LinkedIn allows you to have 5 newsletters. So you can even segment if you have different topics you want to segment for your audience. For instance, I have one newsletter that's just AI for personal branding. So people who are interested in AI and personal branding. And then I have another newsletter called The Art of Personal Branding, which I'm going to show you in a second. So this is my top newsletter. I have 2,800 subscribers. And I mean, that is 2,800 people I could be talking to every single week, And so as I mentioned, 24 to 40, 48 hours, you will get at least 10 to 20% of your audience subscribe. And it's a way to show your topical expertise. If you are the expert in your space, show it. And the newsletter is one of the ways to build that expertise, authority with your audience without any filter between you and them. So I'm talking about stacking visibility. And now you can see I'm doing video, I am doing a newsletter. So those have been activated. So when somebody comes to my activity page, on my profile, they know that, there's a lot of things going on because I want them to connect. I want them to see me as the expert and authority, and there are various ways to connect with them. They can look at my videos, they can look at my newsletters, and then let's talk about the third thing or the second thing. I want you to go live. Video content, as I said, is the future. Going live on LinkedIn is something that you can leverage for your business. And let me tell you why. Going live gives you instant credibility. It's unscripted. It allows you to be able to show who you are and what you know and how you can help them in real time. It generates 7 times more reactions and 24 times more comments than a native video. So if you post regular video, which I want you to do, if you do lives, you will get more engagement than a regular video. I'm not trying to say you should do one or the other. I'm just saying that if you compare things, if you go live, you get more engagement and reason why you should be going live. And then the third thing is that is the fastest way to show that you're the expert. You cannot fake expertise on live. People are going to ask you questions. And if you are the expert and you can demonstrate that to them, they are more likely to do business with you because now they know you are the expert, they know you are the authority. And so there's no filter here. You're either it or you're not. And they get with your vibe and they're more likely to reach out to you. And a lot of lurkers, people who are lurking, people who consume your content but don't comment, they will jump on your video, they will jump on your live, and they will validate you instantly. And the next thing you know, they're pinging you in the DM wanting to get on a call with you. So live is it's really good. So start small. I'm not trying to make you do all the things, but you can do 5 minutes. Start with 5 minute live. Invite someone that you have a good connection with to go on live with you so that it doesn't become you talking all the time. And then talk about things you know. There's nothing more difficult than going on live and trying to be something you're not. You are the expert. Talk about the things you know and let people know what you know. So I've been going live a lot for a whole year now, and the results have been tremendous. And I want to show you quickly how to do it because this is one of the areas where you cannot go live directly on LinkedIn. You have to use a third-party tool, and I use StreamYard, and it works really well. As you can see, I mean, that says February 13, 2024. So I've been doing this for a while, and I've stuck with it, and it's gotten tremendous results. So I use StreamYard, and you have to set up an event in LinkedIn to be able to go live. So if you go to do your regular post, you click on the plus sign, you click on that calendar thing, and then you can then create your live event. So that calendar thing then opens up a box and then it lets you create your live. You have to upload an image and all that. You do all that. Once you do that, then you go to StreamYard to set up the live. So if you want to go live stream, you click on live stream on StreamYard, and then you can stream. You do have linked my LinkedIn account to it. And then once you set up the events in LinkedIn, it then allows you to then link the event automatically. So the first step is setting up the events in LinkedIn. And then you go to StreamYard and then schedule it, you know, and then go live. It's pretty easy. Once you schedule everything on LinkedIn, it posts it automatically from LinkedIn because you've linked your account to it, and it's easy to just do it. Um, and then you can repurpose the video. So when I go live, Bavia Kalsi is an EO member, and her and I have been doing a lot of lives because she's also in the personal branding space, and we do a lot of lives together. And then I post it on my YouTube. So you can repurpose that content. So lastly, I'm talking about stacking visibility. And right now you can see I am doing videos, I have a newsletter, I am doing lives. And so I'm giving people an opportunity to see so many sides of my expertise in different formats and meeting them where they are. Some people may like to consume my video content. Some people may like to sign up for my newsletter, or they want to watch me live and see if I'm the real deal. And so all these areas allows you to be able to stack your visibility on LinkedIn and position yourself as the expert and authority in your niche. And I've gotten clients and workshop gigs out of it. So lives, I love it. That's why I do it so often because people come there and then they probably have questions or they're not sure whether they want to go with me. And then the live validates that for them. So, and then lastly, proactively growing your network. If you have LinkedIn Premium, you can send 400 connection requests a month or 100 a week. A lot of us are not growing our network, so our content is not being seen by the people we want them to see. So this is a way to do it. I have, you can go on LinkedIn, search for people in your second, third degree connections, and then send them connection requests. And I have a script that I use. I have scripts that I use for EO members. I have scripts that I use for non-EO members. If somebody comments on my post, um, if we're in the same industry, I have a particular script that I send. But the point is that you want to grow your network actively so that people will see your content. Because when you post content on LinkedIn, LinkedIn will service the people that follow you, people you're connected with. So if you want your ideal audience to see your content, you have to grow your network with your ideal audience. And so proactively, so if LinkedIn allows you to do 400 connection requests as a premium account, and let's say 20, 30% of people accept, then it means you're growing your network by 100 targeted connections a month. And you don't need a big network. You just need the right people in your network. And so to do that, proactively sending requests to people that you know you want to do business with, people who are potential prospects, is the way to do it. So that's it. So before we take any questions, I want you to scan this and give me some feedback. There are 5 short questions um, that will help me improve this workshop. So please take time to and then I'll take some questions if you have any. Um, and then, I'm happy to send you this deck. My recommendation is pick one tool at a time, pick one thing that I've said. Maybe you want to go live, you want to do a newsletter, you want to do um, start sending connection requests, or maybe you want to do the content part, or you want to improve your profile. But if you want to work with me one-on-one, I can help you optimize your LinkedIn profile. We also have a done for you service where once a month I get on the phone with you for an hour, I get all your content, and then we do the content and we schedule it for you. Or if you want to build your personal brand to leverage it for the next thing, we can talk about that. Also, I do workshops. I have a 90-minute workshop that I've done for EO forums that I do for forums, helping them leverage personal branding and LinkedIn. I've also done it for accelerator groups. So these are all opportunities that you can work with me on. Any questions?
There was one question in the chat about the
Oh,
newsletter,
okay. Yeah.
or do you just do? Is it good to just repurpose the standard company newsletter, or should they be custom made for LinkedIn, or what's your suggestion there?
Um, I think that when you mean I would not just take the company newsletter and just post it on LinkedIn. I think that you want to, when it comes to LinkedIn newsletter, it's also going to show up as an article. It's going to show up an article on Google. And so I think you want to use that to show targeted expertise and authority, address topics that people are searching for that they probably don't have answers to. Um, so I will be more targeted on LinkedIn because it is such a blue ocean that somebody's going to go on there and Google something. And if there's not a lot of articles on it and there's a LinkedIn article, Google is going to serve that article first. And so I would rather use that to answer pain points of my clients, my customers that because if your content is not getting visibility, your LinkedIn newsletter is going to get more visibility. So I'll use that in a targeted way than just taking the company stuff and just reposting it. How long should the newsletter be and how often do you post? I have been lazy lately, but I think you should be posting twice, ideally twice a month, but at least once a month. Um, I know some people post once a week, which I think if you have the capacity, once a week is great. I think minimum twice a month. Uh, can you push Facebook Lives to LinkedIn? So the thing about LinkedIn Live is that you have to use a third-party platform. So whatever platform you're using, if it allows you to post, if it allows you to push it to multiple, I know StreamYard allows you to push to YouTube and LinkedIn at the same time. So depending on the platform you're using, I think Restream is one of them. That also allows you to do that. So it's specifically platform dependent. Any suggestion on how you can design it? I think the banner, Canva is the best place to go. So when it comes to, so this is from Kristen Kopp. Canva is the best place to go for templates to design LinkedIn banners. There's so many out there. Pick something that vibes with you and then modify it with your brand colors. I am all about branding, so brand consistency and colors, but I will go to Canva to do that. Um, any other questions?
Or how often would you recommend like just standard posting, not like a newsletter, just like your standard post?
Okay, so I have I have let me see here. So I have some guidance on what you should be doing on LinkedIn. Let me see if I can find it. It talks about how often you should be posting. Maybe I don't have it today. But to answer your question, I think that you should be, I would say 3 times a week is minimum. If you want to really stay top of mind, and the goal of posting on LinkedIn is to stay top of mind, I think 3 times a week is ideal. Anything less than that, and you're gonna be forgotten. I really believe that. I post usually every day of the week, Monday to Friday. Um, but that is not, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best way to do it. But I tell clients minimum 3 times a week. And you can mix that up, I think if you're posting 3 times a week, I'll post one text post with an image. I would do one video, and then the third one could be a personal share, or you could do an image. So you can mix it up. It doesn't always have to be video. It doesn't always, you can mix it up between the content formats. And I think the best way is to start with video. Record a 10-minute video answering questions on things that you know about, and then use AI tools like Opus Clip, Video.io to chop it up into social media clips. And then you can get the entire transcript of that video and then put it into ChatGPT or Claude and tell it to give you some ideas for an image post or to turn it into a LinkedIn post. So one of the things that I do, I call it my content multiplier system, and I do this with clients is we record one video, you know, one 20-minute video where I'm asking them questions, and that's it. I take that and then I repurpose it for the entire month. And that is because there are AI tools that can let you do that. So number one, you record the video. Let's say you record a 10-minute video, put it into Opus Clip, chop it up into social media bites. Number two, take the entire transcript of the video, put it into Claude or ChatGPT, tell it to give you, you know, maybe a couple of quotes out of it. What are the things that stand out that you can create an image out of that? And then you can create like 10-minute video can give you 2 or 3 LinkedIn posts. So AI can help you do that. And then it can give you ideas for an image. So you don't have to be churning out content. You just have to spend time creating one quality video a month and then repurpose it for the entire month. Any other questions?
Yes. Hi, Kwame. How you doing,
Hi,
honey?
Michael.
Happy
Hi,
New
good.
Year. Good, good. Sorry, a little bit late. I had painters come this morning at this exactly 8 o'clock. So sorry about that. Um, why do you use Claude over ChatGPT? Like, why do you find it better?
I think when it comes to creative writing, Claude beats ChatGPT hands down.
Mhm.
Um, so that's why I like Claude. But ChatGPT, I think, is best for ideation. So
Mhm.
when I come up with ideas, I think ChatGPT excels in giving, topical ideas, helping you flesh out ideas, dig into ideas better. And then I'll take that and then I'll go to Claude and then have it, really write for me because I find that Claude can write better and is more creative when it comes to that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Did not know that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here today, too.
Yeah. And also one more thing. There are there are places where, when you are like, sometimes what I found is that um some of the AI tools when you're using the free version, they're throttling things, and so you don't really get the best output. And I found that even the free version of Claude is very good. So especially when we're in the era where we feel like we have to sign up for so many multiple tools, sometimes I prioritize like Claude is my main engine, and I can use the free version of ChatGPT. What question is? Any other questions? So I think what I want to leave you
Sounds
guys
so
with is,
time consuming, Kwame.
oh,
Like the idea of hiring someone to do it sounds great. I mean, do you just tell your clients or, people you're speaking to just to map it out for the month? Um,
yeah. Yeah, I think that um So one client that I was working with recently, she said she was, I think that the pain points that I've realized is that the editing, when it comes to like the editing, we want to put out perfect products and all that. So we get caught up in the details and then we don't put out content. So where I would start is start with, okay, whenever things come to you, use your AI tools like Claude or ChatGPT and just do a video recording. If something hits you, a question comes up, record it, and that's content right there. If you are inspired and you want to create video, I usually do that on Saturday mornings. I go to my office and then just create because I have calm, I can just clear my mind, record a 10-minute video, and that video is enough for the week. So I want to record or create and repurpose. So if you're a writer, I would just write and then repurpose. If you are more for visual and you want to create video content, record the video and then repurpose. So I will start with one anchor content a week and then
Okay.
repurpose into multiple formats for that week rather
And
than
do you
feeling
put
the
this on
pressure.
your business? Sorry, do I put this on my personal or
Personal,
okay,
100%.
not
You're
business?
gonna get more mileage on LinkedIn on your personal profile than your business profile. A lot of people do not engage with business profiles as they used to, but they will engage with your profile. So yes, definitely on the personal. And you can share some of it on your business profile. I'm not saying we should neglect the business, but we should prioritize the personal.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it's 9:01. I want to be respectful of your time, guys. This has been really great. Thank you for the opportunity. And if you have any questions, please, DM me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to send the slides to Betsy and she can forward it to everybody. Thank you, guys. Have a great
We
day.
Thank you so
appreciate it,
much,
Kwame.
Kwame.
Thank you.